I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I am extremely confused by this whole situation. I literally looked at the tweet and did like a little bit of a double take, but it happened. So here I am making a video on it. I'm a dedicated hardcore Laker fan. You could actually dig very, very deep into my uploads and you'll see me literally celebrating the draft lottery where we got the number 2 overall pick to draft D'Angelo Russell. So I'd say I'm pretty hardcore. You can even find reactions of me like overreacting to when Dwight Howard signed with the Rockets. My channel has a lot of gems, believe it or not. I've recently uncovered this, but I digress. Before we get to the content, we just opened up channel memberships. If you guys happen to want to support me even further, then you can definitely do so. Each membership tier comes with its own assorted perks, ranging from, I don't know, getting cute little emotes, all the way to the ability to have me follow you on Instagram and Twitter. So make sure to check it out. It's the top link in the description down below. And we live stream on another channel called TheFlightMike TV. I'm currently working on a LaMelo Ball career simulation for you guys over there. And we do football content on another channel called Microphone. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Guys, I feel like something fishy's going on here because last night, if you paid attention, Montrezl Harrell announced that he was going to leave the Los Angeles Clippers for the Los Angeles Lakers on a 2-year, $19 million deal. And as ecstatic as I was when I found out about this information, a part of me was thinking, this is kind of sketchy. How would Montrezl Harrell and why would Montrezl Harrell leave a contending Clippers team that would probably pay him way more than the Lakers would have paid him to come back, to leave to go to the Lakers? Yeah, the Lakers have culture and the Lakers are really good, but why would he take such a pay cut? He's the 6th man of the year. You would think that he would demand and command way more money. And then I remembered that Montrezl Harrell is part of the Clutch Sports family. And whenever things come about in the Clutch Sports family, I'm always a little bit skeptical because, well, nothing against Rich Paul or Clutch Sports, because if this is how they want to operate and they end up winning championships this way, then by all means, go for it. But I always had this theory, going back to 2017, that the Lakers were able to get in contact with LeBron James for the very first time by signing Kentavious Caldwell Pope to a very overly inflated contract. No, like, we're talking extremely overly inflated. This is a 1-year, $18 million contract. Like, that's a pretty good contract for Kentavious Caldwell Pope. But the Lakers also received access to Rich Paul. And at that point, there was some sort of conversations going with Rich Paul that allowed LeBron James to join the Los Angeles Lakers a year later. And pretty much through Rich Paul flexing his agency muscle, bringing Anthony Davis into the Clutch Sports family, probably by dangling the fact that he could get him to the Lakers right in front of him, Rich Paul was slowly able to get LeBron James the help he needed on his team. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's actually very shrewd when you think of it. But a part of me wonders if the allocation of funds sometimes is a little bit thrown off. Now, I'm not trying to say I'm upset about the current news I'm about to give you. All I'm saying is I'm a little skeptical, and I've always been the type of individual that likes to dig deep and figure out more information about a subject because, you know, these players don't just all magically say, hey, we happen to be signed with Rich Paul, and hey, we happen to want to play with the Lakers and LeBron James. There's definitely something going on here. But why I'm saying this is because Shams just hit us with a bomb that the Lakers are about to sign Kentavious Caldwell. Well, they agreed to sign Kentavious Caldwell Pope on a 3-year, $40 million contract. And that's about like $13.3 million per year, or 13.35 if you want to get like really technical about it and do the advanced calculus and whatnot. But let me tell you why I'm a little irked by this deal. And this is nothing against KCP. I loved what KCP did for us in the playoffs. I think he was a remarkable talent and a great player. But my issue with this is the fact that, no offense to KCP, this is a gigantic overpay. Like, I felt like he is a player that has always been worth about $8 million a year. And honestly, no offense to KCP at all, and I know I'm going to say this over and over again, but I personally feel very uncomfortable giving a player $13 million per year over 3 years, even though the last year is a partial guarantee, to a player that has a player efficiency rating of about 11, had 3.7 win shares last year. Yeah, he shot 47% from the field and 39% from three, but I felt like those funds could have been allocated a little bit better, especially when I was getting excited because we heard these rumors of the Lakers potentially targeting Bogdan Bogdanovic, and I felt like that would have been remarkable, a great add to the roster. Yeah, I know KCP was seeking a little bit of a raise, but I think this is a pretty seismic raise, and I don't necessarily agree with where we're allocating our funds. Yeah, he was a very important player for us, but dude, we're paying a player that literally averaged 9 points per game last year, $13 million. And for some reason, I really can't justify doing it at all whatsoever. And I don't want this to turn into a KCP like hate video, because I love the Lakers. I love what we did. I love what KCP did for us. But I'm saying, speaking from the perspective of an individual that is just trying to see his favorite team allocate funds properly, I feel like this is a gigantic overpay, especially when you're considering the fact that we're probably going to lose Kyle Kuzma because, well, we didn't feel like he was worth paying him the amount that he was seeking. And to give you an idea, Kyle Kuzma put up 13 points per game off of 44% shooting, 32% from three, and had about the same player efficiency rating, if not a little bit better, with the 12.2. And we're probably going to let him walk as a result of this. Obviously, he's going to be a restricted free agent, and some team's going to offer him a ridiculous sum of money that the Lakers aren't going to be able to match. But what I'm trying to say here is I feel like the funds could have been allocated a little bit better. If this was a 2-year deal or a 1+1 year deal, then I would be fine with it. But you're literally committing to a role player for 3 years and saying, I'm going to pay this role player $13.5 million. Now, when you compare that even to Montrezl Harrell, who's literally being paid $9.5 million this year, this is a player that had 58% from the field, 18.6 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, and 1.7 assists per game, 7 win shares, and had a player efficiency rating of 23.2. And granted, they're different players. I understand they're different positions, but the allocation of assets here just really confuses me. So I wonder if the reason why this came to be, and the reason why the 6th man of the year is getting paid less than a player that I consider to be a role player for the Lakers, maybe they're going to elevate KCP's position now that Avery Bradley has went and signed with the Miami Heat. The reason why it bothers me is, with all due respect to Kentavious Caldwell Pope, Montrezl Harrell's clearly the better player here, but KCP got the better contract. And for the life of me, I can't figure it out. And I feel like, once again, I know I'm starting to get repetitive, I feel like these funds could have been allocated a little bit better. Yeah, it's not nearly as bad as giving Luol Deng a 4-year, $72 million contract like we did 4 years ago, but it's not necessarily the signing of Montrezl Harrell for a 2-year, $19 million contract, or any other shrewd move that Rob Pelinka was able to make, like trading for Dennis Schroeder. If you ask me, I would give this signing a C-. I don't think it's going to ruin the Lakers, but I feel like the Lakers could have done better with what they had. And I feel like the duration of this agreement could possibly screw them over down the future. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this move. Maybe you're seeing something that I'm not. At face value, I thought this was kind of a bit of an overpay, but yeah, I'd want to get your opinion on this entire situation. Aside from that, I'm your boy, TheFlightMike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.